Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Grassroots Racer. Tonight's guest is somewhat interesting because I haven't ever interviewed someone who's raced in a sidecar before. So I want to welcome Sam Watson onto the show from Watson Racing. And sidecar racing is a little bit different. So the motorsports I do, you have one driver, and sidecar you have not a driver, but you have a passenger who I'm guessing observes. I
Nah,
guess.
they're nearly 50% of the driving. Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
we'll jump into that in a second, but
Yeah.
you'll hear more about that. So, welcome to the show, Sam. How did you get started in sidecar racing?
Firstly, thanks for having me. Sidecar racing has been a generation of my family. So my dad and my uncle raced. My uncle builds sidecars. Dad raced all his life. And as a kid, I used to go up to the track and watch my uncle race. And yeah, I started racing motocross and then supermoto, and then yeah, had a few crashes in supermoto. And one day, Mum said, "If you move back to WA, we'll buy you a sidecar." And that's how it all started for me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And quickly, how about we talk about that? So you said the passenger steers half of the car. How does that work?
Okay, so the passenger is their counterweight to move left and right as you go through left and right corners. They are putting drive on the back wheel, also moving forward to let the back wheel spin or slide as you go around right hand corners. Left hand corners, they're hanging out to keep the left hand wheel down.
Yep.
Yep, on the sidecar wheel. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
So
that makes sense.
they're a crucial part. A good passenger can make or break your team. Yeah, it's a sport where you work with. It's a real team. You work as a team. You're talking to each other after the pits. What can work in the pits? You're talking what can work in certain corners. What he needs to do. What I should do to help him. Yeah, he's a big vital part. They're leaning over the driver to just to get more drive. They're back on the back wheel to get more drive down the straights, and yeah, all a few little things they can change up. Yeah.
So the weight of the passenger is a very crucial thing to help how it drives, how it steers.
The weight is not necessarily a huge thing. There's a lot of girls that race that weigh nothing, and young kids that race, and the lighter the better.
All
Power to
right.
weight ratio. It's just the technique of when they need to, as you're coming out of the apex of the corner, when they need to get back on the back wheel, coming into the corner. Sometimes you want them to go forward over the wheel, so you're not understeering into the corner.
All right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
something very interesting, and I'll be honest, I've got no idea about it. I've never really watched any sidecar racing, so it's pretty cool to talk to
yeah.
someone who races it full time. So, what does a typical race weekend look for you and is it Amon, your passenger?
Eamon, yep,
Eamon.
he's an Irish fella. Yeah, so I met Eamon on a work site, and I had another passenger at the time, and I was just watching him. He's a brick paver, fast, flat out, and he's on his knees all day, fit. And I was thinking, yeah, he'll make a good passenger. He's already rides bikes, already got a bit of bike craft, and the Irish, they're natural good passengers. I don't know, Irish road racing, it's a big thing over there, and yeah, I asked him one day, told him one day, you'll be my passenger one day. And he's like, shook his head and got him going. And so, yeah, typical race weekend. Well, it's a family sport for me. So, mum's involved, my missus' parents involved, my missus are involved. I've got a mechanic that's used to be dad's sidecar passenger back in the day. So, yeah, it's a few of us. And yeah, everyone's got their own part and to play in the role. And yeah, everyone knows what they're doing.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say when I was having a quick look, doing a bit of research, you've obviously got a big team around you, and the team is what makes or breaks a weekend. So it's pretty awesome to have those guys supporting you. And you said they all have individual roles. So
Yeah.
when you're on a race weekend, you obviously need everyone playing their part. I know how that feels because at the end
You
of the day,
definitely would.
we're all in
Yeah.
motorsport, so everyone plays a very crucial part in it. So, you know, how successful have you been this year? And do you want to tell us about how you've been this year?
Well, the season's just started for us, really. We come off a really good season last year. So last year we just purchased. So inside car racing is two classes of racing. You got the F1 sidecars, which in Australia and New Zealand are 1,000 cc, long chassis bikes with the motor that sits behind you. And then you got the Formula 2 sidecars where the motor sits in front of you, all 600 capacity. And they're the type of sidecars that race in the Isle of Man.
All right.
Yeah, so I used to race a 600. And then last year we dug deep in our pockets and we funded LCR. So it's a Lewis Christian Racing European spec long bike, all made out of aircraft aluminium. And last year was our first year on it, and it was a very successful year. We got second in the WA Championship, and yeah. So at the start of this year, we were pretty set for a big year. We did a lot of work on this bike, got a lot of things sorted. We headed to Tailem Bend for the first round of the Australian titles this year, which wasn't so successful for us as we blew a motor on Friday practice. We had a good pace. It was looking like a good weekend, but yeah, racing things, just sometimes
Yeah.
doesn't go your way. So
Yeah.
the start of our WA season is next weekend. That's why today we're out testing.
All right. And how did it sort of go? How do you get a feel for the car? How do you know how to set it up? What sort of are the key points?
Okay, so the long chassis bike that we race right now, you can tow in you can each wheel you can set up to camber in, move forward. They're all adjustable. Each wheel is adjustable, so there's lots to do with setup. We spoke to a lot of people and a few people in Europe and a few people in Australia here, and just got an idea of what we roughly need. My uncle is a guru on sidecar setup, so yeah, he's helped us a lot. And we've got a last year we had a pretty good feel. The bike was pretty well set up, and we're just getting it back to our good Tailem Bend. We didn't have the greatest setup, but just starting to get that feel now. And today the bike felt really good. So yeah, there's a lot of adjustment on the bike. My missus is the brain behind the setup. She works all the setup and the mechanic side of it with another guy, and I'm just basically the driver. I just give him the feedback.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you do a national series, and what tracks do you see yourself doing over the year? Because you're WA based.
Yeah,
So
so the Nationals. Oh, you go. Sorry.
no, I was going to just say how far do you go?
Oh, okay, so the National Series, the first round was at Tailem Bend. Awesome track. We raced there a couple of years ago on the 600 as well. And then they have a four round series. Oh, there was going to be a 4 round series. Now it's a 3 round series. So it's Tailem Bend, Eastern Creek, and Phillip Island this year. Yeah.
Awesome. When are you down at the island?
Yeah. Hey.
When are you down at the island?
September.
September. Oh, I'd love to
Yeah.
go to that.
Are you close to the island? Are you?
I'm a couple hours away, but I think it'd be awesome to go have a look at that since you're from WA. So, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. You might. Yeah. Might have to make a trip. Hey.
yeah. Well, I'm
We'll get
going
you in a
to.
Watson Racing shirt.
Yeah, yeah. I've a few guests have sent me merchandise over the years, and I end up wearing it when I watch their races.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like,
nice, nice.
but in that Trans Am series that they've got on, I feel like I've interviewed half the field. Got to switch shirts every five
Yeah,
seconds. But
yeah.
yeah, Eastern Creek's an awesome track. I can't wait to go there. So this weekend will be my first time going there.
Oh,
In the
really?
Mazda, yeah. So
Yeah.
it'll be very exciting.
I've always wanted to race Eastern Creek. Just as growing up as a kid, watching the fight before it was MotoGP, it used to be fight for 500cc Grand Prix, and that before they went to Phillip Island, they used to race a lot at Eastern Creek. And
Oh, really?
really, quite a big track back in the day. Yeah.
Do they race on the Gardner circuit or a different layout? Just
Yeah,
the
that's the
same.
Garden Circuit. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Because there's a couple of layouts, isn't there?
yeah. Well, when we go there, they give us a warm up and a practice. So our warm up will be on the short circuit. They call it the North. So when you
Okay.
come out of turn two, around the long bends, you just go through a little chicane instead of going around the whole thing.
Right, right. And have you been to Tailem Bend yet?
No, I go there this year as well for the first time.
Oh, you're going to love that place.
Yeah, I've been told that.
Yeah.
Everyone's told me have a look at it online because you won't know your way around it if you don't.
Yeah, depends what track. Are you going to do will you guys be doing the GT track?
I don't know
Not
yet.
sure.
Never
Yeah,
even
it's a
looked at it.
big track. Yeah. Great place, great venue. I wish we had one in WA. I get
Yeah.
jealous of everyone that gets to live in South Australia and race that every weekend.
Oh well, hold on. You don't want to be jealous of everyone who lives in South Australia.
Yeah, that's a pretty good track.
No, I'm having a laugh. It's because I'm from
Yeah,
Victoria, so um,
yeah. So
but
in
yeah,
WA, we have two tracks in WA of Barbagallo Raceway
yep.
or Wanneroo Raceway. It's called Carco now.
Mm.
And Collie Motorplex, which is an awesome track. They've just put an extension in the last couple of years, and that's got everything. It's a really fun track. And that's where we were today. Collie Motorplex, Anna, she sponsors us and helps us with testing and getting the bike set up. So we're very thankful to have her on board. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Collie, like obviously WA, it's one of them places in Australia that's like every town is quite far away. So, how far away is it from yourself? Where are you based?
Very isolated, yeah. So Collie is about 2 hours from home, hour 45, hour 50, depends how fast you drive. So yeah, we went down there this weekend on Saturday. Went down there and we had a problem with our motor. So we busted back to Perth another 2 hours. We took the motor out on the Saturday night. We got another head put on the motor on the Sunday, and then we drove down Sunday night to test again today. So full 100% commitment. So my missus basically lost her weekend of changing motors in a sidecar.
Fair enough. And how'd you go?
Yeah.
Did you get some good lap times down or get
So
some
we
good side
we got
knowledge?
out today, and my missus jumped in with me. Eamon was working, so as she's not really a passenger, she just sits out in the left hand corner, so she's not really getting drive on the back wheel. So you can't really get it out of the corners fast because the wheel will just spin. You got 200 horsepower onto a back wheel, it just
Yeah,
lights up straight away. But once you get it into second, third gear, you can really feel what it had. And yeah, the bike ran really well today. Get good horsepower out of it.
that's good.
Should be a good weekend next weekend. Excited.
Yeah. So you were saying about the F2 and F1. So
Yes.
I'm guessing, so you were saying a couple of years ago you were doing the F2 and now you're doing the
Yeah.
F1. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So F2 sidecars, 600. It's all built out of, so it's a fixed frame built out of chrome moly. My
All right.
uncle actually built my uncle, so it's a full chrome moly frame, fixed. The only adjustment is moving the back wheel forward and back just to lengthen the swing arm. And some of them you can adjust the sidecar wheel. But mine was a fixed frame. It was a well set up bike, beautiful little bike. It now lives in Tasmania. We sold it just to fund this new one because it was so expensive. But
Yeah.
I switched over to an F1 outfit because everyone in WA run the F1 outfits, and I could run with them in the corners. I was fast through the corners with them, but down the straights I'd just get blown off.
Yeah.
But I've got the lap record. I've got the lap record at a couple of tracks in WA on the F2, and had good success on it, and learned how to drive fast on the F2, and that's
Yeah.
carried over to the F1 now. And I've got on the F1, and it only took me a season. I'm up with the front runners that have been racing for years, so no, it was good. It's a good stepping stone.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
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 we had a similar thing when we did go-karting when I first ever started. They had an older
yeah,
engine and a newer engine. One of them was a four-stroke, one of them was a two-stroke. So the two-stroke was quicker because it was brand new, whatever. And Dad goes to me,
yeah,
"Oh, because this is when I first raced, and my parents weren't super keen on it because they
yeah.
didn't really know that I was good at it. So they said, if you beat one of those, they called them mini rocks, the two strokes. They said if you beat one
Okay.
of the mini rocks, we'll buy you one." So it took me like 3 months of just practicing. Like I'd beg them to go to the go-kart track. They'd let me practice. And one
Yep,
day, legitimately better guy, like who was genuinely quick. And then
yep.
people would turn around to my parents like, "You got to get this kid a mini rock. Like, what are you doing? You're stupid." And then and they're like, "All right, we'll buy him a mini rock." And that was their mistake. They got too involved, and now I'm at this level.
Yeah. How it evolves really quickly.
Yeah, because then from a mini rock, then we started doing state racing, and people saying, "Oh, your son's really good at state racing. You should do this more often." And then we did 29 races in 1 year, and I podiumed 23 of them
Wow, that's a
that
good
year.
start.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
obviously they dug themselves a hole there, dug into the wallet too, and yeah,
Yeah. Don't worry, my mum still digs into her wallet and helps me out, even though I'm a FIFO worker.
yeah.
Racing's just so expensive.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is. Like I couldn't do it
Yeah.
without the blokes behind me,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
but they all have a reason. Like that's the thing I love about my local partners. Like I don't know, Eagle or Car at the top.
Yep.
They can't afford to give me money, but they lend me a tandem whenever I need it. So, it's
Yep.
really helpful to have someone like that when I think roughly they cost something like 110 a day to
Yeah.
rent a tandem. It's really good to have
Yep.
that on standby, and those guys never disappoint. So
Yeah. You need in racing, you do need the help. Like it's
yeah,
hard doing it by yourself. It's basically nearly impossible. At a high level, when you're really pushing near the front end, yeah, you needed the help.
oh yeah. But
Yeah.
like, that's why I'm really happy that we're on TV this year because I can give them something a little bit more back.
Shout
Being
out the sponsors and yeah.
yeah, well, I got to win. I got to win to do that. So I better get on my A game.
Yeah. Start that pointy end, you'll be right.
Yeah. Well, I've been
Yeah.
I'm. You guys probably wouldn't have one for the sidecars, but for my car, I got a, like a little simulator, and I've been doing lots of laps of Sydney. So
In
hopefully,
iRacing?
I do a bit of iRacing. I do a bit of this other one called a Corsa. So
Oh yeah, I've heard of
yeah,
that, yeah.
yeah. So I
It's
found an
cool though, isn't it?
RX-8. Yeah, I found an
Yeah.
RX-8. Been doing lap times, so I look quick-ish, but it's a simulator. It's not realistic, so we'll see how I go.
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually got a mate that raced in the 6 hour at Bathurst a few weeks back, and yeah, he did a bit of sim racing before he jumped in the Camaro and raced.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. They're really good for learning the track. They just sort of give you an idea because then when you go, you have an idea where you got to brake and you have an idea which corner goes where. It's really good for that.
That's right. Taylor and Bend, they're actually in their foyer at Taylor and Bend. It's a pretty flash place. They've got a motel there, and in their foyer, they've got a simulator set up so you can go around the track in the simulator. I
Right.
did that a fair bit when I was there. That's pretty cool. You definitely learn the track that way.
So what circuit did you do at Palin Bank? Because you still got, even though their sidecars are smallish, they're still quick. Like you would do the lap times pretty quickly.
Yeah, yeah. So an average lap time around there is like minute 12 ish. Yeah, roughly that. Yeah. It's not the
Jeez.
GT track. It's
Uh,
it's the main circuit they use. The GT tracks for like the GT3 cars and stuff, but it's the same circuit that V8 supercars drive on.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool. I think we're doing that one to be honest, but
yeah. Real
could be a bit
fast
further.
track. Fast corners. Couple of blind corners coming up to it. It's a really cool place.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I'll have to have a look, but
Nice long straight anyway. Really strong
yeah.
straight.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what this car can do because even though it's like a production car, apparently when we go to Bathurst, apparently they do 240 on the straight. So
Wow.
that'll
That's
that'll
pretty
be
cool.
yeah. But for just a standard road car with standard diff ratios, it's gonna be excited.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, that's fast. The fast sidecars down Tailem Bend, they're doing about 235, 237, I think one got.
yeah,
Yeah,
wow. Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's quick.
Yeah,
What do
they
you
move, yeah.
what average like I know it's hard to tell, but what average do you think you do during a whole lap of a certain circuit that's fast
An
flowing?
average speed, oh, I couldn't tell you, mate. Nah.
Yeah.
When you're only on the nationals, you get those average speed times. Yeah, you can't really say what you're doing, eh? Yeah.
So you are planning on doing the
Yeah.
nationals this year?
Yeah, so the plan was to do all 3 rounds. With the drum we've had at Tail and Bend and last week with this motor, we might miss Eastern Creek, but hopefully get to Phillip Island. Yeah.
Cool.
The plan, like, it's a long way to go from WA. I want to be over there. I
Yeah.
want to be at the pointy end. I don't want to just be making up numbers. I want to be, yeah, running up the front and learning off the fast guys over their tracks. Because a lot of those guys over there, they've raced around Phillip Island for a few years where it's new to me. And it's kind of a track where the more laps you're in, yeah, you're going to be more experienced around there. Faster
Anyone,
tracks, you know what I mean?
yeah. Anyone who's watching will agree with me. If you go to Phillip Island, bring a jacket, even if the forecast says it's going to be sunny and 40 degrees. Bring a wet jacket. Trust me.
Yeah,
You will
yeah, it
see
looks like one
rain.
of those places, eh? It's one of those places you just never know what the weather's going to do, eh?
Mm. The first time I went there, I remember like so you cross the bridge from San Remo over to Phillip Island. And I remember going across the
Yep.
bridge going, wow, it's so sunny. It's really vacation. 20 minutes in, we had rain. Clear
Oh,
skies,
really?
rain. it's Phillip Island is just one of them places, but because it's
Yeah.
right on the coast of the ocean, you're gonna get that.
Yeah.
So it's
Do you feel the wind in the cars down the
oh yeah,
straight?
one hundred
Yeah.
percent. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I when I raced the Formula V around there, so it's a Formula car. It'll probably be
Yeah.
the same, just sort of the top half of your shoulders are sitting out of the car. You feel
Yeah.
it. You definitely
Yeah. I
feel
bet
it.
you do. Yeah.
I'm not sure. When I was in the super, I used to race a supercar. That was it's a go kart, but you have a bigger engine, so you go quicker. I was
Yep.
doing, because I was in the junior class. They only do 190 at Phillip Island, but you you still get that feeling when you come over the horizon that you look like you see only the ocean until you've really come over it. So it's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. The sidecar passengers down the straights, they really tuck in. Yeah, they're not looking where they're going. They're looking down. They're listening to gear changes. They're only putting their heads up when they're coming into corners to do the transition from left to right. The whole time down the straight, they've got their head down, tucked right in. Yeah.
But that'd be for speed, wouldn't it? Because if you had a big
Yeah, and to
volley
stay
of
out of the wind as well. Stay out of that
yeah,
wind.
oh,
Yeah.
will it pull them back and stuff?
I'd pull them back. Yeah. Also, just for aerodynamics as well. Really. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. But I did think I'd mention sidecars. Seems like you guys are going quite quick. What safety measures do you guys sort of take to keep the sport running and minimize any sort of
So
accidents?
we run top quality helmets. HJC Australia look after us with good helmets. Really good discount for them. So yeah, we run top helmets, good leathers, good boots, gloves, and yeah, just big balls holding on, eh? Basically,
So do
it's
you
a passenger's job is, but their safety is down to them. They've got to be switched on the whole time. As soon as they let go, with when they're doing transitions, one hand's always got to be on the bar. They let go once, they're out the back.
yeah,
Yeah, Eamon, my passenger, he's never come off of me. He's bloody brilliant. Yeah,
yeah,
I look up to him to what he can do. Yeah.
yeah. Do you ever get you know how motorbikes they get the wobbles? Does that ever happen or
I like tank slappers.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So a sidecar that's not set up can do that to you. Can get out of control as well. Sidecars. So when you all three brakes, so you got three brakes on the side. All three wheels got brakes. They're all run off one lever, which is a bias setup. And if the bias is wrong, they'll start really head shaking on you, and
all
then
right,
yeah, you're in a world of strife. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
if you're rocking up at Phillip Island in a sidecar that in an F1 you've never driven, how do you sort of guess the setup?
Yeah, well, that's a tricky one. You go on a base setup, um, and basically the track we have got over here at Barbagallo is got a fast straight. So we just set it up basically like that, and then just slowly work away from there. That's what basically your Friday practice is for, isn't it? Just to
Yeah,
get your setup right. Yeah, and you're not going to go shoot it straight down the straight first lap and hope for the best day. You're just going to feel it all out. Well, that's what I do anyway. I can't afford to crash this bike. No insurance, and yeah, I can't afford another 50 grand.
50.
Yeah, you're looking at around that for a full
That's
setup.
that's more than my thing.
Yeah, yeah, I got mine's on the cheaper side, but like you're looking once you've full got the motor, your race motor with your fairing because of carbon fiber fairings,
Oh
real
yeah,
lightweight.
okay, yeah,
Yeah, wheels. Yeah, you're looking close to 50. And to get one over from the UK, you're looking around 100 to 90 grand.
yeah.
And they're the UK are full spec racing bikes. Yeah,
So
top of the
if you
notch.
so if you were to take your F1 to the UK, right, just hypothetically, and
Yep.
compare it to one of theirs, what's the first thing that's going to pop out that says they spend way more money than you do?
Just the carbon bits, really. A lot of carbon bits. Also, over now in the World Championship in the UK, the long bikes, the F1s, they actually run 600s. They've dropped down the class to
Oh, right.
600s. The center of gravity, so they're a smaller motor. The center of gravity, so it's a lower, not as tall motor. It can fly around corners a lot faster, and they're doing the lap times of what the thousands were doing. Thousands are a bit of a handful. They real wheel spin. They can't throw them into corners as fast. Australia, New Zealand, and there's a couple of classes in England that only race the thousands now. But in the World Championship and BSB, the British Superbike level, they're all 600s. Yeah, but basically, my bike is exactly the same as them over there, except just with 1,000 in it. Yeah,
Oh,
they haven't really changed the setup much. No.
that's fair. So would you say a goal or an achievement for you would be to race the world side, or would they call it the World Sidecar Championship? Would they call it
Oh,
that?
mate, that would be a dream. I'd have to say, not a goal. There's not much money in cycle racing. We're all self-funded. A dream and a goal would be a dream would still be race the Isle of Man on a 600. I'd love
Yeah,
to do that,
that'd
but
be awesome.
that's still another dream. Like you'd have to be over there and um, learning the track, 38 quarter mile track. You'd have to be learning it. Yeah, it takes big dollars. If I got funded, a good thing, I'd try it. But for a goal for me would be to go to New Zealand where I've previously raced and be up the front there. That's what would be my goal, and that's an achievable goal. Got to
Yeah,
be realistic, really. Yeah, and I
yeah,
have been over to New Zealand, and we have races, a tri series over New Zealand, 3 rounds. They do Taupo, Manfield, and then on Boxing Day they do Wanganui, where it's a street circuit in a town that they shut down the town, and you race around this street circuit, and it's just epic.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds
yeah,
awesome. Um,
yeah.
so don't lie to me here. When you sat down and crunched the numbers to go to Isle of Man, how much does it roughly cost?
Oh, mate, to go to Isle of Man, to get your bike over, to have two spare motors, I can't see you having much more change out of 250,000.
Jeez.
That's if you're going to buy a bike over there as well. You want to buy a top spec bike over there. To bring your bike over there, I reckon you may be looking at 100,000.
It
Yeah,
do they do a thing where you can loan, not loan because you're not really giving it back. Oh, yeah.
rent a
If can
bike.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you do a thing where
If
you
you're going to do it in the top spec way, you could do it a lot cheaper. You could do it for probably 80, 90 grand if you're going to do it a lot cheaper. Just run stock motor, have 2 motors, one for practice, one for the thing. 80 grand, I reckon you get your buy.
now is that
But then you
just
got to look. But then you got to look at the costs for going to Isle of Man to learn the track.
yeah,
Previous
okay.
month's trip from Australia,
Oh,
you would be you'd have to fly over at least 4 or 5 times a year just to learn the track. You could do a lot of sim stuff, but then to qualify,
yeah.
you've got to race. You've got to race some English F2 championships just to qualify to race. So yeah,
Yeah, because I was gonna
yeah,
say it wouldn't be one of them things. It's not like a circuit where you can go and then you qualify, you can do 4 laps, worst case learn the track in 4 laps. It's like you've got this mile of strip, you gotta do
that's
it
right.
hard and fast the first go.
You got to learn. Yeah, yeah, it's a
And
really tricky one. And driving around in a car, you'd only be on one side of the road, so it'd be very hard to simulate. To do it at a top spec with the spare motors and everything, you wouldn't get much change from 200. And that's traveling over back. And yeah, yeah. But you could just, as a first time going over there, you just go over there with a stock standard motor, something reliable. Yeah. And that's another thing. Like, do you bring your bike that you're used to, that you know everything about from home over there, or do you buy a bike over there? It's a tricky one. There are guys from Australia that have done it and been very successful, but yeah, they've got some money as well. It's a tricky one, eh?
yeah, fair enough.
To weigh up
Um,
all costs, I'm just kind of guessing the sum of what it would cost.
yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
guessing, I hope that's including live going there and spending a couple of weeks there, like just for the event, and then going prior. I hope that includes all of
Yeah, I'd like to think so as well. Big money, big
that.
money. Yeah.
But I know you said you're self-funded, but do you have any sponsors or people who support
Yeah,
you?
we do have some sponsors. Got a main sponsor that helps us out a lot with the bike, CalMax Smasher Bears. Last year, for some reason, I've jumped on this long bike, and some reason I've started rubbing people. I don't know why it is, but I've just been making a bit of damage on my bike. So CalMax Smash Repairs is the main sponsor. Got a couple here written down. ETC Paving, that's Eamon. He's my passenger. He funds a fair bit of it, helps me out a bit. And then Pro West Engineering, so engineering parts, they do all sprockets and all sorts for us, help us out big there. And then HJC Australia helmets discounted, really good fucking discount helmets. Collie Motorplex with the test days and stuff, big help there. And then just like parts, like the sidecar shop and fiberglass solutions, just for fairing, fix-ups, general things. And SF Construction, that's his old fella Barry, he's just helped me out for years and thrown me some money here and there to get me by, really. Yeah. So we have got a few sponsors helping us. But CalMax Smash Repairs, he is a main sponsor. Like right now, my bike is in primer. Just dropped it off to him. And when I pick it up for the weekend for the state round, he'll be looking beautiful.
Awesome. Yeah.
And he's also used to, CalMax also used to paint my dad's bikes back in the day. So they've been a part of our family racing a fair way. And his stuff is immaculate. He races cars himself. He races a Camaro in the 6 Hour Bathurst and Sandown and a few other events. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
Mason
awesome.
Callahan. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. Sometimes I put a bit of the sponsors under pressure. I'll be like, hey, sorry for the last minute call, but I need this like in a couple of days. Hopefully it's
yeah. That's a bit like our fairing at the moment, the CalMax Smash Repairs. He's a racer, so he understands, which is good. It can be hard that way. Sorry. We need this weekend.
Yeah. No, I did that. I did that with the sticker guy. Shout out to Wizardry Signs. You guys are always good. I'll put you on the spot last minute every time. So appreciate that.
So do they wrap your cars?
I hope to get a wrap at some point, but I'm trying not to put too much pressure on them because they are still a business at the end of the day and they help me out for nothing.
That's right.
I don't want to put too much pressure on them. But look, Sam, thanks for jumping on. I really appreciate it. And coming from yourself,
thanks,
you're a family man, so the whole family gets involved, and it looks like a good operation you got going. And
thanks, mate.
Talking to a sidecar race is something I've never done before. So
bit
thanks,
different.
Sam. Yeah. Thanks, Sam, and hope you have a good night.
Cheers, Ed. Appreciate it, mate. Have a good one.
Thank you. And to anyone who's racing this weekend, remember, drive fast and take chances safely, of course.
Send it.
Yeah.